Hi everyone, it's Mia from Rose Nails by Marissa Coombs, and today I'm going to show you how to do a really simple flower using the SBD Pretty Putty. I'm going to be using the oval number 2 brush from SBD London, the SBD 4D Pretty Putty in Snow, and I'm also going to be using their slip solution. That is for use with the Pretty Putty and their signature gel. So I've already covered this nail in 2 coats of black gel colour and a top coat. And I'm going to go in with my Snow Pretty Putty. Always make sure that there is some of the slip solution on your spatula, otherwise it's not going to come off the spatula very easily and you're going to have a big gloopy mess. Right, you're going to start off, this is going to be your biggest petal. So this is going to be the biggest amount of product you need through the entire flower. From here it's just going to get smaller and smaller. So I'm making sure I've got my brush and dipping it in the slip solution. And you want to mould this, I find it easiest to try and mould it into a ball. And then from the ball, you're going to mould it into like a sort of half moon, croissant, whatever you want to call it, kind of shape. So you're going to manipulate that product. Don't worry about making it petal looking yet. Just manipulate that putty. Keep dipping in the slip solution and wiping off any excess slip solution. As soon as you feel that brush sticking to the product and you're not able to move it around as much as you want to. So once you've got it in position, then you're going to start sort of patting and pressing it into place, just sort of finishing off my little half moon shape. So that's my lovely half moon. Hope you can see that all right. Yeah. There we go, that's a bit better. And then we're going to be using our brush, and you want to put the most pressure on the tip of your brush. So you've got it at a bit of an angle. So you're patting it and pressing it down mostly from the centre, so it's like at this angle. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So you're putting most of the pressure down on the tip of the brush and then just kind of letting the rest of the brush fall. Making sure you're dipping in slip solution each time you can feel it sticking. Now you're going to manipulate the putty and kind of curve it back round. So now you're really trying to make your petal shape. So you want to kind of get it out of that half moon shape a little bit. And now you're really trying to make it back to look like a petal. So as you're patting and pressing it, the sides might go a bit meh. So use your brush, go round the edges and bring those sides back in. Make sure you've got full control of the product, you know, don't just think, oh, it's gone a bit to the side, I can't deal with it now. Pull it back into place and kind of show it who's boss a little bit. So I'm just getting rid of any sort of excess product that's on the top coat before I put it in the lamp. Making sure, if you want, depending on how 3D your client wants this, a lot of clients want it quite flat so that it sort of doesn't catch on things, but you can kind of press those outside edges of the petals up a little bit more if your client wants that really 3D look. So I'm going to pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds. Right, now this has come out of the lamp, so I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller bead of putty. You want to get a smaller bead for each petal that you're doing. You're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as you go to the centre of the flower. So once again, I'm going to manipulate that putty. And you want it overlapping the previous petal by about a third. You can even do it by a half, but I wouldn't go any more than a half, otherwise it's just going to not look very pretty. But yeah, you want it overlapping at least by a third. So I would always recommend putting your beads of product in the centre of the flower where the sort of bud's going to be, and then pushing the product out to where you want to go, because this product is going to move outwards. So you want to put it in the centre and then press it outwards. Right, so you're making that half moon shape again and then putting your brush at that sort of not quite flat angle, and then you're going to do your patting and pressing. Again, look, this is the angle you want to be going at. And putting most of the pressure on the tip, the very tip of your brush, and then just letting the pressure kind of fall down the rest of the brush. So I'm going to really sort of manoeuvre that putty where I want it to be. See, I don't like this bit, so I'm going to go in, move it around the outside. If it moves somewhere you don't want it to be, move it back. That is the brilliant thing about these putties, as opposed to working with something like acrylic, is that you've got unlimited time. It's not going to set on you. If you want to move it, move it. If you're not happy with it, then change it. So I'm not happy with this bit of the petal right here. So I'm just going to bring my brush round. I want it to look more 3D. So I'm just going to scoop down the side. There you go. Do you see? Scoop down the side, bring it up, and then you get more of that shadow on the previous petal, and it just makes it look a whole lot more 3D and a whole lot more sort of pleasing to the eye. Just keep patting and pressing that product until you are 100% happy with it. Curl those sides round into a sort of pretty petal shape. Manipulate the inside, the outside, wherever you need to go. And that's going to go in the lamp now for 60 seconds. Right, and again, I'm going to go in with a smaller bead, sort of roughly into the centre of the nail. Sorry if this is getting a little bit hard to see, because now it's going to be white on white. I did do this on a black nail, so it was the easiest to see, and hopefully it's going to help you guys. So this is going to be the third petal, and again, you're going to move it into that half moon shape, dipping in that slip solution as much as you need to, but just make sure you're wiping off any excess on a bit of kitchen towel, because you do not want to saturate it. So that's the half moon shape. So now we're going to start pressing at that angle and sort of pushing out into the petal. So again, you want to be overlapping. You want to overlap both petals with this one. Really bring those sides in though. Make sure you've got those lovely sort of shadows and sort of enough product there to make it nice and stand out 3D, so that it doesn't look like a flat flower. So there you go, just bringing in those sides from the outer edges of the petals, and that gives you that lovely shadow and sort of really makes it pop. Now at this point I'm trying to make sure that the middle stays clear, because I want to have enough sort of space. Personally, this is just how I like to do it. I like to have enough space in there so that I can really curl my bud round when it comes to making the bud. And also because it's just easier for you guys to see on camera if I leave it a little bit black in the middle there for now. So I'm curling those sides round, overlapping over the top of the other petals. There we go. We're nearly done with this one. So just keep manipulating it until you're happy. It really is totally up to you how much you work it. It's you know, it's not going to set on you. It's not going to do anything until you pop it in that lamp. Just moving these around a little bit. Not quite happy with how crisp the edges are, but we're looking pretty good so far. There we go. Right, so that's the third petal done and dusted and getting popped in the lamp for 60 seconds. Right, so this is going to be, I think this is the final petal that I did. And again, you're going to keep going round. So obviously with each petal, we've gone round clockwise. And you're going to do this petal again, going round sort of slightly clockwise and overlapping from the third petal that we did. Oh, please excuse my voice, it seems to be disappearing. So again, we're going to go into that half moon shape, trying to keep it black in the middle for you guys to be able to see, and I keep going fuzzy and out of focus. There we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, going into that sort of half moon, croissant-y kind of shape. Oh, my dog's just come in. Hello, Jazz. Lay down, darling. And then we're going to start patting and pressing and making that petal shape. Now when I'm doing this one, this is the final petal that I do, and I kind of make the product go a little bit slightly more to the right, rather than like a complete half moon. I'm leaving a little bit of product sort of to the right of the petal as you're looking at it, because that's the bit I'm going to curl around and turn into my sort of bud in the middle. So I'm going to bring that side round. I'm going to really kind of push that product down a little bit, just so I've got a little bit extra to play with when it comes to swirling around the bud. Right, now my brush now is at a much higher angle. Can you see? Way higher. Much higher, look. So I'm not sort of flatly pressing anymore. I'm right at the top. And I want to push that product so it goes sort of up and out. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Rather than pushing it flat to sort of create that petal shape, I want it up and out, and I'm going to keep manipulating the middle of the flower and then the outside of the flower to kind of bring it all round and in together. and curl that little tip round of that extra product that we made. Use your brush on the inside. I'm so sorry it's gone all fuzzy here. I think it's because it was trying to focus on my hand. But really, like my brush is pretty much upright at this point, and I'm manipulating that bud just to curl it around to give it that nice little pretty bud shape in the middle. There you go, you can see a little bit better now. There we are. So again, just manipulate it until you're happy with the outcome. I really hope this is going to be a helpful video for you guys. I know 3D flowers are super popular, especially for things like wedding nails. And if you look at them, they can be a little bit daunting to sort of go, oh my god, where do I start with that? So I'm trying to sort of break it down as much as possible. So again, I've got my brush at a really high angle, and I've twirled that middle bit round. I hope you can see, so that it's got the, there we go, so it's got the bud in the middle. And then I'm going to pop that in the lamp. There we go, so that's all done with the flower. And make sure, remember, because I think it's quite hard to, quite easy, sorry, to kind of flatten it a bit too much and end up with a big splodgy mess. Remember to go around the outside of those petals and bring them in to sort of create that shadow. Wasn't actually going to attempt doing a leaf to go with the flower, but I had some leaf green SBD London Pretty Putty, so I thought I'd just whack a little leaf on here as well. I started off with way too little product for the size of leaf that I wanted to do, so I just go in a second and add a bit more product, which again is really cool thing about this putty. If you've got too much, then just get a spatula and scrape some off. If you've got too little, then get your spatula and whack a bit more on. It's great. So I'm just sort of manipulating this into a rough, very rough leaf shape. And then I don't like the fact that there's not enough on there. So I go and get a little bit more. Again, making sure that your spatula is covered in slip solution so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to just squeeze this into leaf shape. Just sort of patting and pressing. This is just getting a really rough leaf shape at the moment. And then I will show you how to sort of really give a better bit of detail with your leaves. This is just getting it into a leaf shape. Sort of patting it down and kind of making it into that kind of, I don't know what shape it is. A squishy oval. It's like a squishy oval. So that's what we're going to put it into now. Again, manipulating the outsides of the putty as well as sort of worrying about patting and pressing down the insides, because the more you lift up that outside of the leaf or the petal or whatever you're doing, then yeah, it's going to give that nice shape. So this is just the knife end of a cuticle tool, and I've dipped that in some slip solution, and I'm going to sort of press it very lightly. I don't want to go all the way through the pretty putty. I'm just going to press it very lightly down the middle just to give the spine of the leaf. And then I'm going to go again with quite a high angle to my brush. I'm sorry, it goes a bit fuzzy when I do this because it tries to capture my hand rather than the nail. A really high angle, and just to kind of press the sides out, just to give those kind of veins and details down the leaf. Again, if you've squidged it and it's gone a bit misshapen and you don't like it, just go around the sides, manipulate it where you need it to be, tidy up those edges. Whatever you do, do not put it in the lamp until you are happy with it. So just pressing that out a little bit, just sort of refining that shape. Hopefully you can see that quite well. So it's got the spine and it's got some of its sort of leafy details, but I just wanted a bit more of the, oh god, what do you call them? Is it like the veins of the leaf? I don't know what the specific word is for them, but I'm just going to add in those details anyway, no matter what the word is. So just really lightly pressing the knife end of my cuticle tool into the pretty putty, just to give that sort of nice textured detail, and I'm going to pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds. And here it is all finished, and I just threw a couple of beautiful SBD London crystals on there for good measure. This is the SBD, I think it's the AB crystals in number 8, but it's like a mixed pack of colours, and it's sold through Louise McGuinness on SBD London, and that's the whole nail. So I really hope this has been helpful, and that it's kind of broken down how to do it for beginners. I really love doing flowers, and they're really super popular at the moment, so I hope it's helpful and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!